if you want.
I'll just say, I'm going to stress this right now on the show. This is not left. This is not right. This is just calling it what it is. This is not John or I favoring one side or the other. I know politics can get very touchy and sensitive and these types of, this is not what this is. We're just going to lay out the facts of the situation, and they are what they are. They are what they are, but it is going to get a little political in sense of it just has a political theme around it. I mean, that so for those who want to know what happened with Santana, why did Santana run off? Okay. I want to point people to an article. Okay, there's an article by the Detroit Free Press written by Nolan Finley. It's called "The Insult That Cost University of Michigan Its President." Very good article. Very it is behind a paywall, so we will only read a few excerpts from it. We will not read the whole article or anything like that. But I want to point out a few things from this article. And if you guys want to read the article, go to the Detroit News. It's there. A lot of goodies in it, a lot of inside info. But a lot of people, especially like Buckeyes, and there's even fans like trying to figure out what happened with the Santana situation. Why did Santana just jet? Is it because the NCAA is coming? Is it because the hammer's coming? Is it because Santana's aware of what's to come with the punishments and all? No, absolutely nothing to do with that. This is another example, John, of Michigan getting in its own way, ruining something that they have with good individuals. Michigan did this with fucking Jim Harbaugh, and we see it right now with Santana, and we're going to get into what happened. Okay. So, John, all right. So I'm going to read an excerpt right now from the article. It said, the Regents tried to pressure Santana into a confrontation with the Trump administration over the president's executive orders over woke policies, campus anti-Semitism, and how federal research dollars were spent. Ono balked. Okay. The Democratic Regents, again, this is not left or right, we're just reading the article, led by Mark Bernstein and Jordan Acker, wanted to make a public show of resistance to the orders. Acker is up for election next year and faces a Democratic nomination process. The Regents penned an op-ed presentation to the New York Times urging U of M to join Harvard and other major universities to defy Trump. The piece implied, this is disgusting what I'm about to read right now. The piece implied Michigan lacked courage and moral clarity in staying silent. So, and there's one more thing I'll read from this article, but I just want to make a point here. The Regents, Jordan Acker and Mark Bernstein, put an article to the New York Times saying Michigan lacked courage and moral clarity in staying silent. What the fuck are they doing, bro? Why would you put a black eye around the university? Why would you go to a news, which I know this shit happens. I know this happens in politics. You go to newspapers, you have them write articles to drive public perspective. I know that's the game. Okay. That's disgusting from your own Regents. That's disgusting, bro. And that's why we're talking about it. I know this is a touchy subject. I know this is a sensitive subject. I know this is probably going to piss people at higher position. I don't give a fuck. That's not what our show calls it like it is. Okay. And then it says, although the piece never ran. Okay. So this article never ran. It stung Santana, and he was asked to sign it and he refused. Those close to the president say he took it personal as an affront to his leadership and worse, an insult to his character. So you have, and we've seen this before, guys. We've seen this before. What did they do to Jim Harbaugh? And do we not remember when Jim Harbaugh said, I wish I had an athletic director who would have my back against these fucking Regents?
Mm-hmm.
This has happened too much. And one thing that, if you guys have watched our show for over a year, okay, I told you guys one of the biggest hurdles with NIL was there was a contingent of Regents who were against it, like hard against it. There is a Regent, and I'll name his fucking name, Jordan fucking Acker, who said it is morally wrong to pay student athletes. I'm going to tell you right now, the Regents at the University of Michigan are voted in.
Mm-hmm.
As Michigan fans, our vote needs, now it's going to get a little political. I'm going to say this. Do what you want with your vote. I'm never going to tell anyone what to do with their vote. Do what you want. But I'm telling you, we got some issues at the Regent level. We've had issues at the Regent level. At the end of the day, in my opinion, handle accordingly as a Michigan fan. I'm never going to tell anyone how to vote, though. Do you? But at the end, like I'm just saying, this is ridiculous. This is a consistent theme. We have these problems all the time, and we know that the regions. And John, I'll let you go right here. But we know that the regions have been a challenge for a lot of things with Michigan, and they just let a very good president fucking leave because they made him feel like shit, just like Jim Harbaugh did, and just like others before him. Like it's not good, dude. It's a bad this is not. Michigan's a great university, so much to be proud of. It's toxic, bro. The regions have some toxicity at that position, man.
Yeah. It's unfortunate for a lot of reasons. I think that just from a high level, when you're the president of a university, it's your job to safeguard the university's resources. It is your job to not be the first president since I don't know how long where the resources go down, where the endowment goes down, where things take the wrong turn. Whatever side of the aisle you're on, what President Ono was trying to do is literally just safeguard his resources, safeguard and essentially just shield Michigan from the media scrutiny that's been going on with Harvard and other major universities who have made public statements. All he was trying to do is run his university. Yeah. I mean, he was literally just doing his job, period.
Right. Well, exactly. And it even says in the article, John, that the reason why he didn't want to, let me find it here. The reason why he didn't want to make some type of fucking public outcry is because, let's see if I can find it, John. You here, carry it. Let me find it, and I'll let you know when I find it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ono's priority was to keep U of M out of the administration crosshairs. He said that he didn't want to put the university's research funding and nonprofit tax dollars at risk. And he didn't want to raise a red flag. He was trying to protect the university where our regents wanted to make self-interest decisions, self-serving decisions, not only for their political careers, but for their own personal ideologies, instead of doing what is best for the fucking university, bro. That's crazy. It's crazy when you have people, when you have things like this, when you have people that are looking for I and not the greater good, right? And some might argue, and listen, I know this is very easily going down a political road here. Okay, we can have that. I mean, well, we're not going to, but I understand the conversation. What is the big hurdle here, or what is the big political topic? It's obviously the protests that have been going on campus. It's obviously the DEI situation, which I'm not giving my position on any of those. Okay, I'm just simply saying that because of political ideologies, those have become priority over what is best for the freaking university. And we just lost a very good president. And I know, and I'm gonna tell you this, and I'll be very transparent here too. The reason why it frustrates me even more is because obviously he was very, so you could say, well, that's self-serving. TJ, what I'm about to say, you could say, well, that's self-serving. He was very pro athletics, and he cared about the athletic department and wanted to make sure it was the best in the nation. Just like he wanted to make sure the academics and the research and all that was because what Santo said was there's no reason Michigan shouldn't be the best across the board. He fucking believed that, man. And he was just trying to achieve it. You know, and I'm a fan of the university. And if anyone says, and I'm going to tell you this, and I'm not saying someone is saying this, but when I have these debates, I hear these counter arguments in my head. If anyone says, well, TJ, you didn't fucking go to Michigan. My tax dollars go to fucking Michigan.
There you go.
I paid NIL, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So get off my fucking shit. And guess what? My co-host did go to Michigan. So whatever, you know, like I don't even want to hear that argument. That argument annoys the shit out of me. It's a public university. What they do affects the whole fucking state.
The whole you weren't in the building. I mean, you could say that to almost every single show that's out there. Is not in the building, right? There are very few that get the opportunity to go to the press conferences, and that would be like your Isaiah Hole, you know, your Ballas, your, you know, couple of those. But for the most part, like we're all in various ways. reporting on what we're seeing based on sources inside and outside.
Yeah. And like, let's look, here's something that here inside the building. I'll give you what I've heard inside. The regions are fucking difficult, man. I've said that for a long time. Like, I've even mentioned names of certain regions in the past. If you guys have watched, you know, I've said these names. I know I mentioned some names tonight. We know there are certain regions who are more difficult than others, man. And it's just frustrating as a fan and as somebody who, again, tax dollars go to that university. You know, like, it's just frustrating. Like, Santana was a good fucking president that they literally made him feel uncomfortable to not even be there anymore. You know, and guess what? Jim Harbaugh felt the same way. And guess what? The regions were the reason why Michigan didn't get in the NIL game earlier. And listen, I've given Ward Manuel, and we'll get into that with the whole Sharon Moore thing. I've given Ward Manuel a lot of credit this past year. I've stuck up for him a lot. But what do we know about Ward Manuel? He's a yes man to these fucking regions. You know, he is. And I understand. Well, they're the regions. They call the shots, and they do. But it doesn't mean they're good regions. Doesn't mean they're good regions. I think a lot of people need to look at these regions a little more closely. And I do think just like you apply pressure to a head coach or you apply pressure to a general manager, I think not only should the citizens, but also the people who care about this university apply pressure to these fucking regions, bro. Do your fucking job. What is best for the university? Don't do self-serving interest bullshit. Like, or you're trying to achieve political achievements. I mean, I understand like the career aspirations and climbing ladders, and you do got to shake hands and you do got to build through that. And listen, you got to do things to appease others. But damn it, it's a bad look, bro. This is a bad look in my opinion, in terms of just the way it was handled. You know, it's just, I don't know, to me, it's unfortunate, John, you know?
Yeah. And so I just want everyone just for a minute to put on the imaginary glasses, tie, suit jacket. Imagine that you're in Ann Arbor. And we all love, pretty much everyone here. There are some Buckeyes in the chat, and a Nebraska fan. But pretty much everyone here is a Michigan fan. Imagine that you're Santa Ono. You're getting your own regions going against you in the New York Times. You've got protesters at your door on a regular basis, and I think we can agree bad shit is happening in Gaza, and at the same time, no one wants protesters at your door. And it was not just him. The regions were going through this too. But he's imagining, go to Florida, make a bunch more money, sunshine. I'm not going to have people trying to knock my door down and harass myself and my family. So I feel like I'm just going to ask everybody in chat, like, if you're in his position, what would you do? Because I would leave. And I love Michigan.
And now the people who are supposed to be your bosses write an article to sabotage you and the university. And it didn't get published. Their intention was to have it published. That's why they wrote it.